Hi! So you're watching this video and you're here to see about Color Street. So I always like to put a face with a name. If you're watching this on YouTube, which presumably you are, I actually am designing this for people that are in a specific type of party for me that is not Facebook related. That way they can see just how easy this stuff is to put on. So my name is Tabitha Fritz. I am a stylist with Color Street. I've been doing this since July of 2019. I first tried the stuff in February of 2019 and hosted my first party in March. And then I totally stayed away from it thinking, this is not for me. I've done direct sales. I am not a sales type of person. I'm not going to do it. And then it got to the point where I wanted some extra cash. I wanted to help pay for the extracurriculars for my kids. And I was also about to do surgery. So traditional jobs weren't really going to be a thing at that time. And driving was out. And so I was like, how hard can it be? It's nail polish. And it's one product. So really, how hard could it be? My mind has been blown, ladies and gentlemen, because I know there's some awesome guys that wear this stuff too. But yes, mind blown. This is an amazing product. Not only, that I obviously love it because I was using it for all those months, but then to watch people just be happy because they're getting to use it and sharing it with other people, making them happy, and then just seeing what all can accomplish with nail polish has blown my mind. But that's not why you're here. You don't want to hear about that. You want to see how these nails are done. So I have my nails naked right now. And it's a joke in my VIP group. We're naked! And they are, generally speaking, prepped and ready to go. I am going to run an alcohol prep pad on them before I get started. Now, before I get started putting it on, I'm going to do the same thing I would do in a Facebook Live party and kind of tell you a little bit about the product. I'll make it quick and simple, though, in case you already know about the product, so we're not here all day. So let me just turn my camera view. All right. And here we are. So my thing that's holding my phone is wiggling. All right, here we go. Here's a better view of my little thing going on. I got my coffee so I can be caffeinated through all of this. Right here is a cream salad. Our salads come in two colors two types. You have the cream like this, and then you'll have ones that have a shimmer. All the packaging does tell you a little bit about the product, and I'll get into that in a moment. Right now I'm giving you basic price tags because who doesn't want to know the bottom line? So salads are $11. You have your clear overlays, which also run around $11. When they're white like this and it says it's a clear overlay, all those spots that are white would actually be clear on your nail. And the purpose behind that is to be able to put this on top of something like this. And so if you're buying something like clear as day like this is, it looks completely white. It'll go on your nail clear, but it's white. And clear as day is like an extra top coat to put on your nails because some people are extra hard on their nails like me, and I have weak nails. So putting on a solid, it's not going to last as long on my nails as putting on the glitters. So I will put clear as day on top of them, or I'll put some sort of glitter on top, clear overlay like this one on top of my solids so they last longer. We have graphic designs. They are $13. They're so nice too. This one's a glitter graphic. We have petites. I'm going to just show you right here. They are smaller. And if you've seen these on Good Morning America, I think it was, they do talk about how these are great for kids because of their sizing. And not only that, but let's be real. Who wants spilt liquid nail polish on your floor? I sure don't. Now, if you do give these to your kids to use, you do so at your own discretion. And I say that because These are not actually advertised to children. These are advertised to adult women, towards adult women to purchase for small nails and nail beds. And there is a size comparison difference here, like you can see, if you are happening to be in a party and just not a random person on Facebook. I do post the sizing of the petites so you can see if they actually would fit your nail or not beforehand. Petites, it depends on what they are to their price tag. This one's a graphic design, so it would be $13. This one is a glitter overlay, and what that means is, as you can see, I'll bring it up closer. You can see through the glitter, so it looks great on top. Another one, now it does look pretty by itself, but back here where it's all white, that's actually clear, so it lets you have another color underneath peek through. I really like this one on top of a purple for Mardi Gras. And then we have a petite line, and really the only difference for the packaging is that foot. And then as you can see for the actual strips, they are curved. They're changed differently design-wise to not be as curved like your fingernail, more designed for your toenails. Now, fun fact, you can use the manicure sets on your toes and the pedicure sets on your fingers. In fact, I can get just 2 to 3 strips. We'll do all 10 of my toes out of the manicure set. So that's really nice. So I can get a pedicure and a manicure, and then I'll still have leftovers out of one of these. Now I have used these on my fingers. They work just fine. They're just cut, so they work better on your toes. They're more designed for your toenails. Other than that, they could go on your fingernails just like the others. So looking at the back of the package, they do give you instructions, and they give you the lot number and the name. Now, the lot number is important because if you have some sort of defect happen when you first open these up, you would want to have that lot number so you can get them swapped out. These do have a shelf life of 1 year. I know of people that have had them for longer than a year and they worked fine, but that's the Color Street guarantee, is 1 year. Color Street tells you that they can last on your nails up to 10 days because it's dependent on application and your wear with your nails. I've had them last over 2 weeks. I know people that have had them last on their hands for 3 weeks. I can have these last on my toes easily over a month. They just last forever on toes. So it's dependent on how many layers of Color Street you have on your nails and how hard you are on your nails to how long they will last. They also say these packages are one-time use. And as far as the guarantee goes, that's because they want to guarantee freshness. But you do get a lot in these packages, so someone with shorter nails like myself, you end up with a lot of extras after doing your nails just once. So finding a way to be able to save those to use for later is important. But you do get 2 strips, totaling 16 strips in a package, 2 sleeves, I mean. And if you're buying the Clear's Day, that's $11, you'll get 2 packages of 16. So you actually get a lot more of the Clear's Day, so you can use them more often with every nail application that you do. So, other little tidbits, when you get this, you will get a nail file. You will get a prep pad, which is just an alcohol prep pad. So literally, if you have some rubbing alcohol and a cotton ball in your house, you're good to go if you need more of these. And just as the packaging does say, it is 100% nail polish. We have patents on it being 100% nail polish. We are the one company that can really boast that. We have lots of patents on this product. It is made in the U.S. There's a top coat, a color coat, and a base coat, which gives you that manicure type salon quality that you would get if you went to the salon without going to the salon without that price, which is awesome. They are made in the U.S. See, this is what I was telling you about, that resealing. And they are easy to use with nail polish remover. If you're just a random person on YouTube, I do have a video for nail polish removing of Color Street if you're interested in it. And if you happen to be in one of my parties, I have probably already sent you the link, or I will be doing that later. Sometimes I do removal first and then I show the nails. Sometimes I do it backwards. I like to switch things up. So let's get started. I thought I would do some French tips because most of the times I do glitters because glitters are pretty, and I am accenting with a glitter. I'm using Tokyo Lights, which is a bestseller. It is beautiful. It is always going in and out of stock. And then I am using actually a retired set of French tips. Now, I'm not going to do my whole hand because doing tutorials on how-tos with these does take longer than just slapping them on your fingers yourself. And I know not everyone's got time to watch a really long video. So I will do part of my hand, and then we will get to, I will call it. And while I'm doing this, I will kind of talk more about the product itself and how to do this. So I got to kind of put these packages where I can see it because I know I'm not going to be using all these, and the name is on each of these clear packages. So I like to keep that cut smooth so that way I know what each color is, even though I can usually tell from just looking at them, but that way I know for sure. So, because I keep them in like a bag. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take these and I'm going to have to move this down a little lower so you guys get a closer view now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these and push them up against my cuticle like that to see on the sides if there's full coverage. And this one has a little bit of damage on it, which is why I'm using it in this tutorial because I'm not keeping it very long on my nail. And I didn't want to hand out one that was messed up. That's not normal, and if something like that happens, you should definitely tell your stylist so she can get you a replacement. That's actually the first time I had a set do that. So this one works great here. As you can tell, I kind of know where they go, and you can just look at this and go, it's not quite gonna fit. And I have several nails this one can fit on. These are also slightly different sizes on the base to the top. So because they're 100% nail polish, we can kind of pull on them, which I'll show you, to stretch them out if we needed to. So now I'm going to take these French tips and I'm just going to start lining them up. And like I'm lining these up, I'm going to go down my fingers and see which ones work. And which ones don't quite work. And it's the same concept, but you're putting it at your tip. You want to make sure you're getting full coverage on that tip for however deep you're wanting to go. And you will end up with a lot of extra here unless you have really long nails. And what I do with that, since it's a nice white, is I'll just put it back on the backing it's on to use later. Your thumbs are your tools when you do this. As you could see, I didn't really have any tools on my table. I keep a pair of scissors so that I can cut the packaging, but I don't, other than that, I don't need the scissors. And I keep a cuticle pusher with me so that way if I need to touch up my cuticles or I need to use it on my thumbs at the very end, I can. Other than that, I will use a nail file at the very end. And the only other thing that I would sometimes say you might want on your table when doing this is a fingernail cutter. Not because you need it per se, but it helps you touch up any chunky glitters, because the chunky glitters, if they hang off your nail after you've perforated everything, what's going to happen is when you go to file and smooth out your edges, if the glitter's hanging over, the nail file is going to catch it and pull your polish with it if it hasn't cured completely, and then you're going to have a hunk missing. So I always like to tell everyone, hey, if you've got a chunky glitter, you might want to touch up with a fingernail clipper before you do that. So I'm going to start with the glitters because it's a simple application. The French tips are slightly different on application. For some tips, Now, did you see how I stopped? It's because I didn't prep my nails. And that's out of habit because I have really dry nails and I don't want to make them too much drier, but I do need to clean them. So the importance of the alcohol prep pad is it helps you clean all the oils and dirts off your nails and your fingertips. So that way you're not getting it on the strips. For kids, they have extra oily fingers. So if this is something that you're like, I want to totally do this to my kid, I highly recommend, if they're a little kid, like my daughter's 5, put them in the bathtub, let them get soaked and cleaned in the bathtub real good, and then do their nails right before bed after that tub. So that way they can let it cure in their sleep, and you get their nails as clean as they can be. It does help it last longer on their nails, vice it falling off after a few days or it peeling up slightly, and then them being kids, they pull it off because they don't know any better. If you pull this stuff off, peel it off instead of removing it with nail polish remover, there's a very good chance it's going to pull up the top layer, or at least part of the top layer of your nail bed. So if I was you, I would not do that because it will damage your nails a little, pulling it up and peeling it. I have a problem with that personally sometimes, especially if I'm like, oh, getting twitchy and my nails are long, because I used to pick my nails all the time. I don't pick them as much now, but if I feel my polish peeling up and I don't get around to taking a Q-tip to the edges of it to smooth it out, what will happen is I will find myself wanting to pick at it like I used to do my nails. But otherwise, I haven't had nails this long ever because I don't ever have time to really have them done pretty. And I picked my nails, and I never had anything that kept me from picking my nails. So what I've been doing, what I did with that first pinky, is I lined this up so it was right in front of my cuticle, not on my cuticle, but in front of it, because I don't want it on any skin. If it gets on skin, what's going to happen in a day or two is it's going to start peeling up, and then you're going to be sad because your polish is coming off. As you can see, these two pinkies are extra short. I just lost the nails on them. They got ripped off. So I ended up with a lot of extra from this strip. And as you can see, I took one strip and I started with this pinky, and then I took the extra, put it over here, just reversing the edge, and then I have all of this left. So if I wanted to, what I could do with this is I could stick it down on that strip it was on and use it later. Now, if you're doing that, you got to make sure it's on the shiny side. If you put it on the matte side, it's going to like adhere to it, for lack of a better term. And so now with the French tips, they are slightly different. Let me go ahead and do this other one real quick so you can see, because these are quicker and it gives you that idea, because likeliness is you're going to start with a glitter or a solid. I always recommend glitters to people first using this because the glitters tend to be thicker. They have a little bit more give, so if you pull on it, they're less likely to rip. And they can take a beating longer. They can. I don't. So someone's starting out and they really want to give an honest opinion or thought on this, I tell them, hey, try a glitter. The glitters are $12, and they can handle our abuse. Love the glitters. And again, what I'm doing is I'm just taking my nail and I pushed it under my thumbnail, under the other nail, and I'm starting to slowly use my thumbnail as my cutting tool. And done, just like that. So now I'm going to take this and flip it so that way the curve is on this side. And again, put it up to my cuticle, not putting it on my cuticle, and pushing it all around. Now, if you mess up and need to pull it back up, you can. Some people, what they will do is they will take this strip and anchor it on the backing, so that way they're holding the backing and not the strip while they place it. It lets them do a couple of things. It lets them have more stability placing it on their finger, and it also makes it so they're not touching the strips as much if they're worried about touching them too much, because obviously the more you touch it, the more you're going to run risks of getting dirt and stuff on it. So now I'm going to take this French tip, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find how far down on my nail I want to put it. And once I get it lined up, then I'm going to work those edges, the corners, over to the edge of my nail. And this one, it can get pulled over just a hair bit more. So you don't have to be perfect with this because you can reposition it. That's a great thing about this. And then once you get it where you want it, you do the same thing as you did before with those glitters that I just did, and that's push it down, and boom, French tip. Now, that's not it though. So let's put this over here on that strip for later. And I'm going to take the second layer of my French tip. Sorry, I totally hit the stand. Still hitting the stand. And I'm going to take this and go over this just like I did with the other one. The process is the same for your toes, except you don't have to start with your baby toe and work your way over, because you get to use your thumb on them all the way across. The reason I wait to do my thumbs last is my thumb is my tool. So I don't want to do my thumb first and then mess up the polish on it. And boom, done, just like that. So now I can take this extra and I'm going to sit it down because French tips are a little different. They do come with a lot of tips, and you could smooth out this and then use it on another nail. I'm just going through with each strip to show you quickly how to do this. Well, fairly quickly anyways. If you are interested, like I said, I do have a video on my YouTube channel for removal, and I show not just acetone, I show non-acetone nail polish remover too. Again, I just put this on my tip about how far I want it down, and once I get it on there, rub it down real good and go. You do need to be patient with really small nails like kids' nails and toenails, because you want to really push down on it to make sure it's catching before you start taking off the extra. These are 95% dry. The part that's still wet is the base coat, which is why we can put them on so easily, but still be real nail polish. So now I'm gonna just go in here and pull that off, and boom. So even with your thumbs, you're gonna do that first thumb the same way. The only one that's gonna be different is your very last thumb. And like I said, you're gonna either use a cuticle pusher or a nail file. And I'll give you a little demonstration here without actually doing it, so that way, again, this isn't gonna take forever. You do have to be careful when you're putting on your second layer, because it will automatically want to stick to your first layer, especially when they're fresh and you haven't let them sit for a while. So you gotta make sure you get that placement a little bit more accurate. And that's it. It's really that easy. I love the French tips. They give a classic look and they remind me of my high school years when I went to dances and stuff. So real quick, what I would do on my last nail, let's say this thumb's already done and I'm over here, this is my last thumb. Once I have the polish on and it's hanging off, I would take the wedge side of my cuticle pusher and just gently tuck it under and push and tuck it under and push and tuck it under and push. And then I'd go along the sides to make sure I had a nice clean cut, and then I would gently pull it away. If I didn't want to do that, I would pull the extra to the front and then push down, and I would take my nail file and start to slowly file around the nail. Once these are all cured, I'll go along with my nail file pushing down and going around them. Just like that. Obviously this one's still in a package. I do recommend, if you're going to be doing this long term, have a crystal nail file on hand because it's gentler on your nails when you're doing them. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was giving you plenty of information. I am going to put down in the description below my VIP group. If you are interested in joining it, it is on Facebook. That's where I do monthly deals, giveaways, and anything new that's coming out of Color Street, I do post it there. And if you want to check out my other videos, go ahead and look at it. Like this video if it helped you out and you enjoyed it. Subscribe. I don't do lots of videos, but you never know, I might start doing them more in the future. And thank you for watching.